All right, so it's been like probably like 2 weeks now or something since I've last posted. Still waiting on parts for that STI engine I'm putting together, but ended up picking up something. Figured I'd show you guys. Also, smoky TDI. Still dealing with insurance. Actually, I think they just settled, found the other person at fault or whatever. Just gonna be rebuilding this thing soon on the channel finally, since the TikTok car has been down for a while. But gonna show you guys what I just bought, or kind of bought. I already had it, type of thing. But so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this. All right, so I'm the biggest Subaru hater, but we got ourselves a Bugeye, and not just one Bugeye. We got two Bugeyes. So this is just a parts car because this thing needs a good amount of shit. It needs a fuel tank. That was the main thing, and a fuel tank's $400 online. This thing I bought for $300. Has the fuel tank in it. The only thing it doesn't have is the engine. The guy pulled the engine out, which luckily I don't need that because this one has supposedly got a brand new engine in it. Which, if it's a Subaru, it's probably gonna last me 10,000 miles before it blows up. But overall, it's pretty clean. It's not rotted to crap like most of them up in New England. Like this parts car, take a look at this thing. It's seen better days. Whole frame is rotted, all that crap. Let's see. Rockers are gone. The fenders. This thing doesn't have any of that. This rear quarter, you can tell it's been repainted, so it probably did have a little rot, but not bad. Doesn't have rot down here. Or probably does a little bit. Show you guys the inside. It's got a cob access port already. It's got gauges. Only one of them works. Or no, actually I don't think any of them work. I gotta hook them up. Overall, pretty stock, the Momo, whatnot. So the reason I bought this thing, so it is a WRX, it's just been debadged. It's got an Impreza trunk on it, so it doesn't have the wing. I probably will get the WRX wing just because I don't know why you'd take it off. I think it looks cool. So the reason I bought that thing though was because my buddy owned it, bought it 2 years ago, never drove the thing. It sat in my shop, sat here in the same spot it is right now for 2 years. So he had it for about 3 months. Then my other buddy bought it off of him, sat here. So 2 years now. I was like, you know what? I'm the biggest Subaru hater. I might as well buy one. So now I got a Bugeye. Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing stuff to that. First things I'm gonna be doing today is I got an STI intercooler I got for it. It does have a misfire because the coil pack connectors are broken. So under wide open throttle, it'll stutter because it's not getting a good connection. So I'm gonna do that, and it's got a few other things under the hood. I'm gonna do spark plugs. It's got an exhaust leak on the up pipe. It's not building boost, so do all that stuff today, and then I'm gonna get done a few other things, a few other videos. It's gonna be videos on that thing, and gonna have to pull parts off this thing. This thing has pretty much everything I need. Obviously the gaskets and the connectors and stuff I bought new, but this has coilovers in it that this needs to be replaced. It's got Max Peating rod coilovers and they're junk. So this one has Megan Racing ones, and apparently they're brand new. So I'm gonna be switching those out. A few other things, but as far as mods go, it's also got NVIDIA catback exhaust. It's also got a Tomy downpipe, Tomy headers, and Tomy up pipe. Other than that, pretty much stock except for the cob access port. Maybe I'll give it a start, see how it sounds. All right, so we got the Subaru in the shop now, and it's a little crammed in here today. Also working on my dad's K truck. It's got a little solenoid that went bad on it, just waiting for parts. And He's also working on that STI engine as well. So a bunch of stuff going on, but gonna be working on this thing, getting all the stupid little things it needs done. So got a few little things here for it. So the ignition coil connectors are all broken and cracked, so got new ones to put on because it does misfire when full throttle because these are all loose since they're not clipped in anymore. So I'm gonna be changing those out. Got some new spark plugs. I believe they're one step colder, the BKR E7s, or it says it somewhere, but also got some new exhaust gaskets since one of them's leaking, the up pipe to manifold, which is this one, and so I might as well just replace them all while I'm in there. So let's get into it. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is just the connectors. It's pretty simple. Well, this side's way easier, and this side I'm probably going to have to pull the battery off and then remove this windshield washer fluid tank as well to get to this side, but I'm going to go ahead and do this side and show you guys how to do it. Alright, so to get to the connectors, all you gotta do is reach your hand down in there and just pull them out. They don't have any clips left because they're broken. Be able to tell, as you can see, broken. Same with this side, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pull that one out as well. I'll show you guys. Alright, we got both this side out, and just for reference, the black one is for the back one. I believe that's number 3, and then the white connector is for the front, and I think that's number 1. And then the same thing goes for this side. The black one will be in the back, white one will be at the front. But you can see connectors are broken. Some weird grease or something in there someone must have put in. You can see this thing would focus. See how it's, the little yellow thing's also broken on them, as well as this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap these out. Alright, so to remove the connectors, you gotta use a little flat blade screwdriver and pry up on the little yellow thing in there. This one broke because it's old and dried out and cracked, so got that out. I don't care if it breaks, I got new ones, but if you look over here, it's kind of how they sit. You just pry up on that little edge to get it out, and then there's 3 little tabs in there for each one of the holes. You could also pry up on that, and then all 3 wires should just pop right out. Then we can put the new connector on. Alright, so once you get the old connector off, this is how this one came off. It's just super brittle, just old. It all just broke off, but the new one, you can see, it's hard to tell, but down in there, those little tabs, you gotta pry those off and then put the new one on. Pretty much just slide it right over these. It's got the 3 holes, and just make sure you have the wires in the right way. They don't really move, they kind of just stay like that. So the one, the yellow one, or the ground, I think, or signal wire or something, is the closest one to the little push piece on the connector. The red one's the one on the other side, so just slide it right on there. Alright, see, got them all in, and you can hear the little clips, they click in when they're in, and just give it a little tug to make sure it doesn't come out. Alright, and once you got it in now, take this little yellow piece, just slide it into there, just like that, push it down, and then this one is all set. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do all the other ones. I'll probably show you guys how to get to these ones as well, but it's all the same as doing this one. Same process once you get them out. But yeah, I'm gonna take all this stuff apart now and get to those ones. Alright, so for this side, just went ahead and took the battery out and also disconnected the 2 bolts holding the windshield washer and fluid tank in. So now you can just, I'm not disconnecting the tube or any of that to keep all the windshield washer fluid in there. I'm just gonna pick it up, kind of move it out of the way, just like that. And now, pretty much have access down there to the ignition coils and the wiring harness. Alright, so we got the wiring harness out, got them off the ignition coils, and these ones aren't as bad, but got the whole set, so might as well do them all. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this side just like I did the other side. and then we'll get back into it. Alright, so we got the connectors all done on this side and this side as well. And now we're gonna go ahead and put new spark plugs in. So just gonna pull off the ignition coil, which is a 12mm bolt, pops right out. Do all 4 of them, swap them out with these ones. Alright, got all the coil packs out, as well as the spark plugs, and it's safe to say this thing's running pretty rich. This was the connector that was messed up really bad, and you can see it was definitely misfiring compared to the other ones. Alright, and these are the new spark plugs, and I already gapped them to 0.28, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw these in. Alright, so we went ahead, got all the coil packs back in, all the spark plugs, put the windshield washer fluid tank back in, and the battery. We got that all set up, so should be a lot better now. Shouldn't have a misfire on wide open throttle and whatnot from that broken connector. And next thing I think I'm going to go ahead and do is I got new exhaust gaskets here because there is a leak before the turbo on the up pipe, so losing a little bit of boost there. It's only boosting about 11, maybe 12 pounds, so I'm gonna end up replacing all of these gaskets, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Alright, so first I gotta loosen up the downpipe, and it should be, I think it's 5 bolts going all the way around, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, so change of plans. I forgot I didn't order a turbo to downpipe gasket, and I don't want to wait for one, so I'm just gonna end up leaving all those gaskets the way they are for now, which is I'm also going to end up leaving the turbo to the up pipe gasket alone, since I need to take the down pipe off to get to that. I'm also just going to end up leaving the headers alone as well, and I'll just keep them as spares in case they do end up leaking. But I know this one is leaking, the headers to the up pipe, so I will just replace this one for now, and that'll solve the boost issue. And since this is it has a Tomy headers and a Tomy up pipe, it's the 3-bolt style instead of the stock, which is 2-bolt. You can see it's up here. The other one is up there. So I'm just gonna go ahead, take all the bolts out, and replace that gasket. Alright, so we went ahead and got all new bolts and a gasket in the for the up pipe, and I also went ahead and put lock washers. Kind of hard to see, but put lock washers on them as well, because these are notorious for coming loose, so that usually helps them not come out, because the top bolt was actually missing, so one of them fell out. Also, I figured out why the boost gauge in there doesn't work, so I ended up crimping these wires together. One of them was ripped, so at least now one of the 3 gauges works, the one all the way to the left, so that's the boost gauge. And the fuel pressure, and then the EGTs don't work. Still gotta figure out those, but at least I figured out the boost for now. And I think I'm gonna go take it for a spin right now and see if that little misfire is gone, and if I'm making more boost. Alright, so I also forgot to mention that I went ahead and picked up just a STI top mount. Got it right here. It's a little bit bigger than the stock WRX one, so I got it for like 20 bucks off my buddy that just had it lying around. He's got a fully built STI, so I ended up just picking this thing up. Why not put it on? So we're gonna go ahead and do that. I don't know if it's gonna fit. I might have to make custom brackets, but if I do, oh well. And also it came with the stock diverter valve, blow-off valve, whatever Subarus call them, but because this is just like an eBay one, and I think it's leaking. It's pretty crappy. It sounds cool, but it's pretty much a piece of junk, so I'm going to be probably swapping it out with the stock one. And then maybe down the road buy a turbo smart one or something. But yeah, so first thing you got to do, just going to go ahead and pull those mounting bolts out. It's already missing one here, so I don't have to do that. Usually there's bolts connecting this line to the intercooler. Those are also missing. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pull these hose clamps off, one down there, one right here, and then as well as the blow-off valve one right down there. And then pretty much this whole thing should just pull right out. Alright, so as you can see, got the stock intercooler out, got it over here, and it has this aftermarket Mishimoto intercooler piping, or silicone hose. stock one I think is plastic versus the stock STI one is aluminum. But I might switch this over to here. Just take this whole assembly, move over here just because it's blue. That way it kind of matches the fact that it's already got all the blue piping and whatnot. It takes blue. I think it'll look better than red. I don't know if it's more efficient or not, but to be honest, don't really care that much. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably see if they fit, if they swap over. I'm pretty sure they will, but not 100% sure. Alrighty, so as you can see, we got the old intercooler piping switched onto the new STI front top mount. Got the other one over here, and now we're gonna see how this thing fits inside of here. See if I can make any more brackets. Alright, so originally I was gonna go ahead and throw this stock STI diverter valve back on, and put that one on instead of this eBay blow-off valve that it's got. Just because I know one of the seals was leaking. I believe it was this one. But I might just try and rebuild it. It sounds cooler. I know it's probably not better, but it sounds cooler than the stock one, obviously. So not really going for performance anyways. But so yeah, I might just replace these O-rings. It's got a few of them on there, and see if that fixes the boost problem or the boost leak that it's having. And if not, then I'll just end up throwing that one on and ordering a better one. Alright, so we went ahead and placed all the seals in it, and I used my boost leak tester over here, smoke machine, and it is, before it was coming out of here, down here, and actually through here, but it's still coming out of here after replacing the seal in there. And that's because I'm noticing now that since it's an eBay cheap one, as you can see, it's got a bunch of play, so doesn't fit right in the bore that it's in, so it doesn't center itself, and basically it won't seal right, so it's still coming out of here. So I'm probably gonna just go ahead and throw this stock one back on, and because I tested this one, it doesn't leak at all, so it's probably what we're gonna end up doing. Alright, so I ended up putting in another O-ring in there, basically doubled up on the O-ring, and it doesn't leak now. Definitely not the best way to do it, but I think I'm just gonna run this thing anyways until I get an actual Turbo Smart one. See how it does. Alright, as you can see, we got the STI top mount on now, and obviously the brackets did not line up. I ended up just pulling this one out, but I'm gonna have to make brackets for it. I might just end up going, I don't know what I'm doing with this car yet, so I might eventually just do a front mount. For now, I mean, it's pretty sturdy. I'm not really worried about it, I don't really care. So yeah, we got that on now. Got those new ignition coil connectors, spark plugs, a few other things. Also ended up just keeping the eBay blow-off valve on as well. So now I'm just gonna probably take it for a ride and see what it's doing, if it's still doing that little weird misfire thing, or if that's fixed. Same with the boost, I'm gonna see if that is finally where it should be, since that up pipe gasket isn't leaking anymore. So I'm gonna take out a ride and see what it does. Take her out on a drive, see how she's running now. I know the TGB sensors are bad, so that's why the check engine light's on, and also because the fuel control unit has also been deleted from the car, and it doesn't have the delete on the tune to get rid of the check engine light for it. But looking at it right now, as you can see, these two gauges don't work, but I believe I fixed the boost gauge. As you can see, it kind of moves now, so I'm gonna give it a pull so we get on the street, see how it runs. Alright, so we just went ahead and took it out for a spin, and as you can see, hit almost 16 pounds right there. It did knock a little, but that's nothing crazy. That's because it's on some crappy Cobb Stage 1 tune. I do have to get a base map tune for it. It is running really rich. This is an unwide band. It's on narrow band, so it only goes down to 11.25 on the ratio gauge, but it's definitely running way richer than that. The gauge itself just doesn't go lower than that. It's definitely running super rich. I can smell it, but it wasn't cutting out at high RPMs like it was. It's actually building boost now. Before it was like super low, like around 12. Sometimes you hit 13, but now it's about 16 almost. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for this vid on the Bugeye. Not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet. Might keep it for a while, might not. It's a good winter car, so I'm gonna fix all the stuff in it. So stay tuned for those videos. And next video, hopefully, we'll have the parts in for the other STI engine I'm building right now for the 2008 STI. So just figured I'd show you guys the new car to this channel. So peace.